Hi students, today we are going to do an experiment called paint viscosity. So basically we will change the viscosity of the paint, okay? So it is easier for you to create action painting. One of the hardest part when you create action painting is when you drip the paint, sometimes the paint is too thick, and that's why we are going to create a paint that is suitable to create action painting. Right, so what you need is the paint, okay? Maybe we will use the palette, cup of water, okay? Now, first thing to do is try to take the paint, okay? Now, if you see here, different paint has different viscosity. So now pour the paint on the. Now if you see that the paint is actually dropped so slow, just like honey, and what we want is to change the viscosity of the paint. So just drop a little bit of paint there, maybe half of water, sorry, half of the spoon. You see that this is so slow, and that's what makes it hard to actually do the paint viscosity. So now we will try to change the viscosity of the paint, okay? Okay, now we will measure the water with using spoon, and we will stir the paint with paintbrush. Okay, so next step is get water. Just get just a little bit of water, maybe half spoon, just like the amount of the paint. Okay, let's try this first. It done, and then what you will do is you will stir it. Now, when you stir, the viscosity of the paint will change. Okay, and it should be easier now to drip the paint. If it doesn't drip easily, if it's still like this, then you need to you see that it is still too thick, so we have to change the viscosity again by adding more water, maybe just another half spoon of water. Okay, you can use more better than that, maybe it's easier to actually eat. Still thick. So you can actually try it directly on paper. Now that is still too thick means that we need to add more water. Great. Now you see that my palette is actually a bit too full now, so maybe it's better if you use cup or something like that. Okay, so this paint viscosity need to change so it can actually be dripped easily. Now let's try. Now whether this paint is actually easier to pour. Yep, correct. So you see here, I already changed the paint viscosity, and now it's easier to use. After you do that, now you can try it on top of paper. Look at carefully. So I can actually use and drip the paint easily like that, and I can actually create line without touching the paper. Okay, so if you think that it is still too thick, you can always add more water. Okay, it is actually easier to drip the paint using spoon instead of brush. If you see here, this is too difficult to, maybe you can just whip the brush like that. Yeah. And if the paint viscosity is correct, it is easier to trip the paint, because the first one, the paint is too thick, and that's why it's harder to trip. Okay, so you can use this. Yeah, so I hope you get the idea. After you do one color, then you can do change the viscosity for the other paint. Okay, so enjoy the activity. Good luck.